Hi everybody, so I'm Gavin and I'm the British Bookworm. So if you're new to my channel, thank you for joining it. If you've seen any more of my books or book reviews, thank you for watching them, and thank you for clicking play and clicking onto this YouTube video now. So I'm going to try and keep this video really short. I've just done this now like my third take. So I'm going to review David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me, okay? I'm going to basically review this as an audiobook, and I highly recommend that you go down the audiobook before you read a physical copy of it. I am a massive believer in reading the book yourself, and I'm not a massive fan of audiobooks. But due to a vacancy of time while I drive, I want to utilize that time to educate and develop myself rather than just passively sitting driving a van. So I'm using audiobooks. Now, David Goggins' book is the audiobook is very, very highly recommended to anybody watching this review. It's better than the physical copy that you read yourself, because in between chapters, David Goggins will come on and he's been interviewed or having a discussion, a bit like a podcast, with his friend who is the narrator of the book. Right. It's going to get a 5 out of 5 because it's a fantastic, highly motivating message and story that basically is incredible. David Goggins, and I'm not going to tell too much to you about the book because I've decided just then that I don't want to spoil the process of your journey and discovering the inner depths and the backstory to what brought out this spirit that has now become this David Goggins person or persona. He was a person who had a very bad childhood, a deep-rooted connection and love to his mother, who I believe on a psychoanalysis is one of the raw, deep emotional sets that basically drove him to a level that no human being out there probably has ever gone to, potentially has ever gone to. He's the most hardest, baddest motherfucker that I've ever come across. And as a person who has read a lot, I know a lot of stuff about physical performance and personal training as an expert in fitness and sports psychology. So I understand that there are plenty of incredible people, a few of which I've had the blessings to get to know throughout my life. And so when you basically know when someone is the real deal. A lot of people put personas on to develop themselves, like Lil King. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve some credit for the way he lives, etc. But developing bullshit lies and personas about what the person is to create a narrative or in order to impersonate a personality that's motivating, that's just fucking horseshit. Whereas David Goggins is the most authentic motherfucker, hardest son of a bitch out there. And I'm putting it in like an American terminology, but he really, really is. To me, this book has, when I listened to it, it really impacted me emotionally. There were a few times at work when I was driving around the van, like I had tears in my eyes and I was like fucking losing it, because the depth of suffering and challenges that he overcome to become a Navy SEAL, and every challenge he had to overcome each challenge. And kind of the moral of the story ultimately is that you're never there. You always have to be ready and understand that life is never going to stop. The challenges in life are never going to stop. You think that you've been through it already, but the next level is always there, and the next challenge is always there. And no matter how much you think you deserve it, there's always going to be other challenges that are going to say, you don't deserve it yet, motherfucker. You don't deserve it yet. And he overcame obstacle after obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. And it is incredible that a human being can do that. And he has made his mind so hard. I've listened to Middleton I've listened to and read so many books on the Special Air Service, and I'm very, very well knowledgeable on hard training and Special Forces training. And there's different levels, and this guy is like on the highest tier of that level. He even says in the book that once he left the Navy SEAL training, which is possibly in hardest training known to man, that the long distance running was even harder, and the ultra marathon, which he went on to doing. I could say so much to you about this, and I've written a ton of notes, and I haven't even looked at them yet. But it's because I'm trying to sort of express it naturally to you. I'm going to say to you, if you wish to improve yourself and you feel down and out, and you wish to have some motivation, not only has he already motivated thousands and thousands of people via his little videos, and you'll learn why that journey in his own life he became what he's become today, which is this iconic figure of hardness, badassness, and spiritual progression. But I don't want to spoil it. That's the key thing. I've decided not to go into too much about the book as I'm doing this video. Also, I don't want to make it too long. So he was in Navy SEAL. He did Navy SEAL training 3 times, which is just fucking insane. If you understand, a lot of people don't understand physical pain or physical challenges. A lot of people in this world do not have a fucking clue about physicality and suffering. And I'm somebody who's done a lot of physical things, and even I don't pretend to have a full comprehension of the physical pains that some people in the highest levels of sport and in the military, I won't even pretend to be equal to any of those individuals, alright? And I'm somebody who's been reasonably fit in my life. So I'm saying this to you, that a lot of people do not comprehend that physical pain and the limits. And he explains that, and he explains that you can go through level after level after level, open level, kick the door down. How you can go through obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, that you're never actually at the end of your journey, no matter how fucking accomplished that you are. The process never stops, whether it's jiu-jitsu, whether it's martial arts, whether it's running, whether it's being a soldier. The fucking journey never ends. And you can come up with as many bad stories that you've been through. I've been through some bad shit in my life. I've known many people in my life who've been through bad shit. And it's how you address and deal with that. And often it takes a very hard, unkind in some sense, messages, a fucking hard face of reality to basically make you realise that your thought is shit. As he says, poo-poo pants mindset. You have to fucking realise that you are the problem, and that you have to find the answers yourself. Yes, people can come into your life and help you and encourage you and hopefully be blunt and say, look, you need to sort your shit out. You're not being honest with yourself. You're getting fat, you're getting lazy, your diet's like shit. Those are the messages that you can face yourself, but it's good to have other people in your life, and those are real people. So the message with David Goggins though is, do not lie to yourself. Face yourself. Every challenge is there because it's an opportunity to expand and grow upon yourself. So the book David Goggins Can't Hurt Me, both the physical copy and the audio book, is going to get a 5 out of 5 for me. I don't believe you can rank, score, or give the true value of somebody's journey that went through a process that he has recorded in this book, which is just incredible. I love this book because on the audio side, because you get to hear David Goggins expand upon stories that when you read the physical book, you won't have the privilege of listening to. Of course, you can listen to, I'm going to link this, Joe Rogan's podcast. I think he's done 2, this one and this one. I'll put these on this video. There's numerous videos and interviews of David Goggins online. And I think in order to fully understand something like I do, you've got to listen to his book, read his book, listen to interviews that people do, and expand your fucking mind so you learn about what limits you set on yourselves, but also things within life that we sometimes don't want to be facing. When we go through life, life is always shit. Life can be shit. Life is a fucking war. And when we live in this modern day world, we've come to think that life should have, by our standards of upbringing, we're brought up with Hollywood bullshit, that this life is going to get better. But life, wherever you are right now, life, that is your life. And life isn't going to get any better. And it's facing that reality and facing the fact that your shit is your shit, nobody else's shit. It's once you take wholly 100% responsibility, whether it's from giving bad vibes to people or throwing your mood around or becoming a soft fuck because you're not going to the gym. Now, that's an important message, but there's also another side to it. David Goggins does get some heat from people like me as a fitness expert, but in his audio, he says this in the book, basically, that's his process and that was his journey. The journey that's created this David Goggins top tier badass motherfucker, that's his journey. But the book's message is not necessarily go out and do extreme physical endeavors, because you're doing it for yourself. David Goggins isn't doing this shit to impress other people. He's doing it for himself. I think that would be a true message and point of motivation. One of the things I liked about what he said in his book, I've written a really long list of things that I was going to mention, but I don't want this book review to go too long. There's motivation, and then there is, I'm going to put it like this, and he mentions that in the book, into his own way. Motivation will go. When the shit hits the fan and you're having a bad day, motivation will go. Like he says in the book, I'm a fitness guy. I've seen thousands of people come to gyms and just leave after 2 or 3 weeks. That's the status quo. That's the society we're living in. Now, I'm not saying, and myself, I don't believe that you have to try to imitate David Goggins. He says that in his book. He says that through his own mouth, right? The guy saying, use me if you need to use my story, my background, my message, my spirit, but find your true, authentic side. Be authentic in yourself. And it doesn't have to just be a physical endeavor. It can be an intellectual endeavor, a career endeavor. But find areas that you know that you can improve your life, that will make your life better. Now, I could go into his ultra marathon distance running, his Navy SEAL stories. The exercises in the book are really good. After each segment of the book, there are ideas on how to motivate yourself that he says that he kind of used within his journey, and he gives examples of things that you can do and challenges that you can set yourself. And I find that a fantastic idea to have in a book. I definitely recommend the audiobook to you. And with that, I think I'm going to leave it. I could go on and do this review for ages more. I don't want to give too much away that's in the book. I don't want to speak for David Goggins. I think that you need to embrace and immerse yourself into his life story and learn about it through his audiobook and through his book and through his own videos. But as a fitness expert, as someone who has got a wealth of knowledge and experience in training people, motivation, and other elements within the fitness and training and mental toughness world, I would say that David Goggins is the place to go to see how extreme a human being can go physically. And let's finish off with one more story. David Goggins, he did a challenge on his channel, I think. I don't know whether it was Instagram. I'm not really an internet person anymore. But he did a challenge on what's called the Jacob's Ladder. We call it the Jacob's Ladder, where he climbed the equivalent of Mount Everest. Now, someone who's trained on that and done the Stairmaster to a decent level and tried many people in fitness sessions on the Jacob Ladder, that kind of went online and very few people seem to promote it or share it. I don't know whether I was like on the wrong social media platforms, but he climbed Mount Everest in like something like 6 hours it was, or something like that, on the Jacob's Ladder, which is just fucking insane. To go and do something off of what seems a whim and video it just for like a casual fucking challenge, I can't get across to tell you how fucking insane and extreme that is. The average person that is in society can only do 5 minutes on a Jacob's Ladder, and there's this guy going up to 29,000 feet. So that's one of the examples. That's a challenge that seems to have just gone off the radar for most of even his fans. So the guy could just basically, he's got a story, he's got like story after story after story that isn't even fit into the book. There's a lot missing in the book, which he says, like about his childhood, how his childhood, the tragic torment, you know, the terrible childhood that he had, how he had to overcome the obstacles that the childhood put into his mindset and his, you know, seeing his mother suffer. I think that was a massive factor in his raw nerve and his mental motivation, and really had a massive impact on that guy's toughness and like the forging of a spirit that will just not get beat. So that's going to be it, guys. I'm not going to review this. If you like this video, give us a like, subscribe to my channel. I hope you like this video. It's kind of a bit rough because I'm trying to do it, squeeze it in today in a rush. I'm a massive fan of David Goggins. I think that while I would not encourage anyone to try to be him, because he's just that you know, you can't pretend to be like a man like David Goggins, but you can use his journey and spirit and lessons to understand that you can go far further in life, in career, in fitness training, in spiritual dimensions of life, far greater and far deeper if you're not lazy, and if you care about progressing your soul, spirit and physical being into the highest manifestation of yourself, if you want it. If you just don't give a shit, if you're a bit like that, like most people, then I'd still encourage you to buy the book, and maybe, just maybe, it will hit a nerve and trigger off a new you. So with that, I'm going to go. Thank you for watching The British Bookworm. This has been a review on David Goggins' Core Hurt Me. See you later.